Many people know that Sonic has a pretty big fanbase within the ADHD community, and you could point out the superficial reasons like the quick reflexes playstyle and sensorial stimulation, but there's a deeper connection that many don't notice. People think ADHD is just about being distracted, but it's not actually about lacking focus, it's about craving freedom. And Sonic is the one character that doesn't just offer that freedom. He embodies it. He is freedom itself. This is Mr. Fascinating, and in this video we are going to explore why Sonic isn't just appealing because he's fast or relatable, but because he represents everything an ADHD brain desperately seeks. ADHD isn't simply about distraction, it's a desperate struggle for a sense of control. People with ADHD have brains that operate on a completely different wavelength. Their minds are in constant motion, seeking out stimulation as a way to achieve equilibrium. Traditional environments like schools, offices, or even other video game series often demand conformity, calmness, and patience, traits that can feel like torture for someone whose brain thrives in chaos. And then there's Sonic. Sonic's world isn't just fast, it actively rewards impulsivity. Unlike most games that punish you for acting without thinking, Sonic's universe celebrates quick decisions, rapid movements, and relentless speed. Every choice is validated instantly by collecting rings, dodging obstacles, and feeling that exhilarating rush of acceleration. In Sonic's reality, impulsivity is power. It's a strength, a skill. This is about reclaiming a sense of control that society often strips away. For people with ADHD, this feels like liberation. And in our own reality, when you are not bound by dated, unjust, and honestly, actually evil environments, like the school system, but are truly creating and moving forward on your own, impulsivity and quick action is just as rewarded as when you're playing Sonic. Which explains why people with ADHD frequently become wildly successful once they finally find their real purpose. Finding that is where Sonic's philosophy comes in. The world wants to trap you into a neat little box. It wants to tell you when you should wake up. It wants to tell you when you should arrive home. It wants to decide for you what you should do. But Sonic just does what he wants, whenever he wants, as fast as possible. And he dares you to live just like him. From his inception, Sonic was crafted as a symbol of rebellion against authority and rules. Sonic's best stories consistently highlight this theme, resisting oppression, breaking free from control, and fighting systems designed to trap and restrain. Whether it's battling Dr. Eggman's relentless machines, resisting oppressive authority, or even defying fate and time itself, Sonic always champions freedom above all else. This rebellious spirit resonates powerfully with people who have ADHD. They often find themselves trapped by expectations at school, work, and home, told constantly to be still, behave, focus, and conform, and the rewards offered just don't seem to be worth it. Sonic doesn't just resonate, he inspires. He embodies the freedom to live outside societal constraints, to rebel against conformity, and to celebrate individuality in its purest form. For ADHD individuals, Sonic isn't just a game character, he's a beacon, a hero who symbolizes their deepest desires. To live unapologetically, to break chains, and to find true freedom on their own. And the funniest part, the way the games were designed also mirror this perfectly. The world punishes you brutally for the tiniest mistakes. Sonic just tells you to get up and going yet again. For ADHD brains, environments with instant feedback, predictable chaos, and minimal punishment for experimentation aren't just fun, they're therapeutic. In other games, when your character takes a hit, he may lose a power-up forever. He may lose a life. You lose your rings, but you just grab them again. You lose momentum, but just spin dash and you're back on track. Sonic games don't lecture you for failure, they encourage you to try again immediately, keeping momentum alive, never shaming your mistake. Sonic doesn't ask you to slow down or think carefully, he asks you to trust your instincts. commit fully, and keep moving. Even if your run of the level wasn't perfect the first time around, you can just try again until you perfect it. This philosophy is deeply comforting to people whose minds already operate at hyper speed, constantly craving new stimuli to stay balanced. It also trains your mind to keep searching for continuous improvement. It makes me think about how I'm starting to record my videos with my own voice. Even though I'm not a native English speaker, I was afraid to do it. But now I've started, and I'm trying to improve with every recording. I'm very grateful for the support of you guys during this transition. But even all of that is just the gameplay part. The levels of Sonic are just as important. The world gives you incomprehensible tasks that barely have any reason to be done. Sonic gives you clear goals that are simple to get good at reaching. There's a reason Sonic's levels are iconic, and it goes far beyond visual appeal. People with ADHD aren't just drawn to Sonic's zones because they're flashy or fun. There's something deeper, almost hypnotic, about the structure they provide. ADHD brains don't seek chaos for chaos's sake. They crave patterns they can master and repeat, rhythms that offer predictability within excitement. Sonic's level design delivers exactly that. Familiar sequences with just enough variation to feel fresh each time you speed through. Zones like Green Hill, Chemical Plant, or Speed Highway are built on this repeated, yet evolving pattern. It's a comforting paradox, structured chaos. Sonic's stages, with their intertwined pathways and rhythmic pace, offer a perfect reflection of this psychological balance. Each zone feels like a dance, a rhythm that rewards you for pushing forward instead of hesitating. Once you notice this connection, you realize Sonic was always running with purpose. But deeper than that, Sonic was always loud and clear. Sonic isn't complex, but he is intense. And for someone with ADHD, that intensity matters deeply. People with ADHD often experience emotions on a heightened scale, feeling joy, frustration, excitement, or anger more vividly than others. It's something difficult to express, and even harder to be understood for. Worse yet, sometimes they're asked to suppress their emotions entirely. Sonic, though, lives this reality openly and fearlessly. He doesn't just feel, he moves. When he's happy, he bursts forward in a blur of motion. When he's angry, he confronts his foes head-on, unfiltered. He doesn't hold back, he doesn't hesitate, and he doesn't overanalyze. He experiences and expresses fully, without shame or second-guessing. For ADHD fans, this emotional clarity is powerful. Sonic validates the big emotion they carry inside, often misunderstood or dismissed. A lot of Sonic stories are made fun of for having loud, emotional cutscenes with very direct dialogue. For example, the adventure games come to mind, yet that is the genius of it. Through Sonic, their emotional view of reality is portrayed as something admirable, passionate, heroic, and real. Watching these cutscenes almost feels like a way of letting out these suppressed emotions. It's something we see a lot of in anime too, which Sonic inherits a lot from. The characters are always very clear, loud, and literal in their words. Even the Star Wars prequels are a bit like this. In a world that tells ADHD individuals their feelings are too intense, Sonic reassures them that intensity is actually a superpower. He turns emotional extremes into bravery, impulsivity into heroism, and passion into strength. And once you think about that, you start noticing that everything about Sonic was made to be like this. At the heart of Sonic's universe is something uniquely comforting for the ADHD brain, a sense of predictable chaos that acts almost like a visual and auditory stim. Everything combines into a sensorial, fictional franchise and universe that feels like home. It's predictable, yet exciting, comforting, yet adventurous. Exactly the kind of sensory input ADHD minds seek to maintain equilibrium. Fans return to Sonic again and again, not just to relive childhood memories, but to find emotional balance in the sensory patterns his world provides. Making Sonic run, jump, and spin through loops becomes a calming ritual, a way to regulate emotions when the world feels overwhelming or unclear. Ironically, a game renowned for speed becomes a source of emotional stillness and comfort for ADHD minds. Sonic's constant motion allows them to be still in their own heads, a paradox that speaks volumes about why he resonates so profoundly. Sonic is more than a video game mascot, he's a validation of a life lived differently. He embodies the promise that intensity, chaos, rebellion, and speed are not problems to be solved, but strengths to be embraced. When ADHD fans see Sonic, they see themselves, not broken or wrong, but exactly as they're meant to be, free, powerful, and always moving forward. So if this resonates with you, subscribe, and let's run with perseverance the race set before us. Not in spite of our powerful speed, but because of it. Click the video that's appearing on screen right now to find out the deeper reasons Sonic also resonates with people with autism.